welcome back. So what we're going to do now is we're gonna clean up these lines, make it seem polished, and we're gonna also like maybe add a little bit more depth to everything and then just finish it off using overlay, sparkles, filters, etc, etc, etc. You know, the whole shebang. So I'm gonna go here and get rid of all these ugly lines. Hide this for a bit. Okay, hide this for a bit. We're gonna use our lasso tool to really get in there. On the edge, you can't help it, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our texture brushes and try to clean up that edge, right? Make it seem painterly. 150. We're going to also roughen out this edge just a little tad bit. We're going to accentuate this bright light, right? Because this is like a flame. So we're going to take our color dodge in the highlight section, just a little bit. And I have the color dodge brush set as my 128 brush, I believe, and this gives it kind of a little bit of texture when you're doing stuff with it. So alright, I think I went too overboard with it, so we're gonna fix it. Lock the layer, take the 128 brush again, go back. There we go, fixed it. Right, create that sense of glow. We're in up saturation when we want to create sense of glow. Up saturation, go a little bit redder because that's what the color of your blood is. And when light, like the flame, if you just hold your hand up to a light, you're going to see that the light is going to illuminate all blood vessels in your hand. So this part, I'm going to transition a little bit better. Fix it up. Clean up this edge. Darken up our shadows so you have a clearer nose. Take my soft brush and I'm gonna brush it just a little bit, just showcase that kind of light radiating into the rest of the skin. I'm gonna fix up the way that word wraps around the face, right? And we're also gonna go ahead and take ourselves a soft light in sort of a orangey section, orangey reddish section. Actually, let's do hard light. we're gonna start making these glow. Come in with our dodge tool too. Just make the centers of these words glow. The reason why I chose this red color is because the light is going to illuminate that subsurface scattering again, and it's going to create that kind of reddish glow. And because this is glowing, that means the hair is going to catch some of that glow as a result. And so I gotta bust that on there just real quick. Put it on the nose also. Remember to change it back to normal before you do anything else, or else you're gonna get some weird colors. We're gonna do some highlight just a tad bit because your hair, even though her hair is somewhat in shadow, is gonna catch some of that light from the back. We're going to make it clean by using our 40 brush. Going slightly warmer. No, decided I don't want that hair ornament, so let's get it out of here. While we're still zoomed out, we're gonna check how those highlights are doing. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Going to give that hair a little bit more shape. I put everything in the wrong layer again. Woo, woo. Layer view cut. Okay, perfect. Put it back on the right layer. Okay, then we're going to add just a little bit of that warmish shadow that comes from the arm reflected onto her bandeau. Ever so slightly, and we're also going to make sure that it's dark enough that we're going to see separation between her arm and her chest, right? We're going to radiate this out a little bit better. Take our 128 brush, the Holy Grail, one of my favorite brushes, on top of the 40 brush. The 40 brush I like more now just because it has such a sharp edge versus the 128 brush is such a great way to like add texture when you're trying to blend stuff. It's a great way to add texture just when you're trying to blend stuff. zoom out. I'm going to add just a tad bit more of that reflective glow that's coming from the light that's being cast behind. I'm going to hide the glow layer so I don't accidentally keep getting the wrong color. I'm going to blend out this green that I put here earlier on. We're also gonna blend it out like that. Add a bit of texture. Gonna do a little bit of radial shading for the arm. Add a tad bit of highlight that's cool since it's facing the cool side. A little bit of radial shading on this side too. When you're shading arms, legs, etc., just think of it as like a cylinder, sort of. Obviously, there are muscles going to mess up like the equation, but in general, like if you can think of it as most basic, then you can't go wrong. Then just a little bit of bounce light. It's gonna cast on the other side of the arm, make it a little more interesting. That hand might be a little big, so I'm gonna shrink it a tad. There we go. In general, the hand is about the size of your face. Of course, there are exceptions, as there are with anything, but it's a good rule of thumb, right? Like when you're measuring, like your drawing, it's like, does this hand look too big or is it just right? Check if it's the size of the head. If it's the size of the head, then great, you did perfect. If it's not, well, maybe you gotta go back and refix some things, right? Okay, add back our beautiful glow. We're gonna rough up the band-aid a little bit. Add a couple of tears, some dirt marks and stuff. So let's add a bit of dirt mark. Gotta go darker, man. Let's see, this one maybe? Yeah, this one's fine. Perfect. Add just a little bit of that dirt and blood. So it kind of indicates like she's really a warrior. She ain't messing around. Now we're gonna go ahead and maybe darken up some of the values in the background because we have such a dark, like, foreground, right? You might as well have something else also pop in, break up that mask that's in the front. Honestly, it kind of would help. Okay, so we'll make that one darker. continue darkening some of our areas. We're gonna use some multiply layers and see, just to test it out, right? Like, no harm done if you decide you don't like it. Actually, that wouldn't be too bad. Let's clean it up and see how it looks better. Not bad. I will leave it in for now, and if I change my mind again, maybe I'll take it away, right? Don't merge it. And that also means I have the opportunity to bring in a rim light here to separate some of those darker values. I'm going to come in with a little bit more texture by adding this green tone, especially around like the light parts. obviously you don't have to add screen tones, but I like the look of like screen tones giving me a little bit more bite when I look at my illustrations, and it helps give this sort of graphic effect, right? Body glow, flame glow. And just like a tad bit on like the sword, right? Get you that nice glow every single place you can think of. Because light bounces everywhere anyway, right? And so back to the background, we're going to add a bit of coolness, just a tad. Well, it's not like she has eyes, but I thought it would be better if I just at least gave some darkness so then the words can appear a little brighter. I'm gonna do a little bit of warping, free transform warp, to try to fix how the words are lying on top of her face. Bit better. I'm doing a little bit of Gaussian blur, just a little bit. We're also going to add a little bit of noise. Okay, and then we're going to fix that because that is not what I meant to do. Where's my brush? Okay. get that pinkness, that hot pink in there. And then we're going to add some speckles of that. That is not the brush. That brush is so misleading, I swear. This brush? Color mixer brush. The dots aren't solid enough. Kind of. I'll take it. I'll take it for now. I do remember we had a better brush for this. Is it this one? No. Let's play a guessing game, y'all. Which brush is it? Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Okay. We're gonna break up this mask just a little bit. I always fall for that one. Okay, and then to get our beautiful sakura blossoms, also kind of just watch me label all these the randomest things. Extra green. What is this? Ooh, chateau. Honestly, I definitely think the shadow does help make a difference in creating that light. I'm gonna cut that out and make my life easier. Because in order for us to create just gotta do a tad bit there. And then we gotta dust it off with a bit of sparkles. Where's my navigator? There we are. Oh, yes, I think that is the move, adding just a bit of that light back in there. Like, good lord, look at that. Really helps separate like this and this. I'm also gonna fix up that nose because I'm betting it's gonna stick out like this. There, catch you that silhouette. We're gonna zoom out real far, see where else we can add a little bit of darkness to balance out the overall piece. Dark. And then we'll do one final touch, which is to do render lens flare. It's just real subtle, right? Duplicate it. Get it even brighter. And then there you have it. That is basically a finished illustration. And so you can see like it definitely took me majority of my time trying to figure out the colors and the overall composition, but it's so important that you get it right or else you just will struggle, right, at the very end because you won't have like a good kind of reference point. So when you're making a full-on illustration, key tips are to gather your references beforehand. Find, maybe if you're stuck on like what kind of color palettes to do, maybe look at other artists, like find some inspiration, look at certain lighting pictures, etc., etc. If you need reference photos for poses, try taking them yourselves. It's usually much faster that way just because you can exactly do it how you want it, but obviously that means you have to also do a little bit of a setup, especially if you're wanting to do like a specific type of light. But hopefully that was helpful, seeing my process and how much I also struggle. I am just like everyone else. I just have a little bit more experience on problem solving these issues. So I'm excited to see you guys tag me in these final illustrations that you make based on the reference photos that I used. And I will see you in the last video where I just go over a little bit about my closing thoughts about making this class and my thoughts on the industry. Bye!